She has the proof. This is what she does. She throws these little things out there and she waits for everybody to be like, that's not true. That's not true. And then she puts out the receipts. And they know. They know now, like, wait a minute, be careful. It's a landmine. You like walking through a landmine field. You don't know where to step, where to lie, da da da. Because Candace has been picking them apart strategically. So they're very, very careful not to say that he did not know that they were going to kill him. And then the question comes again, who was going to kill him? Who is the they? Who is the they?
Regarding political assassinations of the past, in retrospect, really is something. So at one of his, honestly, one of his last events in May of this year, Charlie was directly asked his opinion regarding John F. Kennedy's assassination down in Dallas. And here is what Charlie had to say.
In the JFK files, Mossad is mentioned. One of the reasons why Mossad is mentioned so much is that they're just a very good intelligence operation. It was not mentioned as if they were tied or that they knew about it or that they were involved. Again, I think the best reading of what happened there is who wanted JFK dead the most. Again, a lot of people said Israel wanted JFK dead. I'd love to hear that argument. But definitely Lyndon Baines Johnson and parts of our own government and the Cubans wanted him dead. And who actually made it happen? There were like 15 or 20 things that happened that day that were inexcusable. They changed the parade route. He rode in an open air convertible.
I just got to pause right there. First of all, he acknowledged that our government wanted JFK dead. Step one. He also, therefore, for the people like, what? Do you think our government will do that? Step one. Step two, he acknowledges right here that about 15 things went wrong. So when Candace Owens is talking about the multiple things that were weird, that were strange, that were abnormal, that shouldn't have happened, that normally wouldn't happen, when she's talking about those things, instead of people gaslighting and trying to act like, oh, she doesn't know what she's talking about. See, now she's talking about this. Now she's talking about that. It's funny how these scenarios all kind of happen the same way.
LBJ decided not to ride alongside of him. The vehicle slowed down right when it went by the Texas School Book Depository. A lot there, right? And then, again, I think that all of us are smarter to believe that it was simply Lee Harvey Oswald. The more important question is not
remove Lee Harvey Oswald and put Tyler Robinson.
Oh, who did it? We have to first acknowledge it that more than one person did it. Once we acknowledge that more than one person did it, then we can expose our government to have lied to us about the JFK assassination, which then I think will sober a lot of us about.
What? Our government lied to us about the about the JFK assassination. Imagine that. So we shouldn't just trust everything they're saying? Oh, that's weird.
Trusting the government in the future.
I mean, yes, all of that. Thank you, Charlie Kirk, for reminding us that you had common sense, that you didn't accept force-fed narratives, that you did not accept the BS crap that our government has sold us regarding the one individual that was involved in JFK's assassination. Of course, multiple people were involved and a lot of strange things occurred on that day. That is what makes his answer there so compelling, okay? Especially in the midst of, well, MK Ultra 2.0. Remember the first government psyop on the people, MK Ultra. What actually came together, sorry, I should say Mockingbird 2.0. The first government psyop on the people following JFK's assassination, Mockingbird 1.0, to convince everybody through influence that there was nothing to see here, even though there was so much to see there. And now it's being deployed again, Mockingbird, Operation Mockingbird 2.0, to convince people that questions about the Charlie Kirk narrative are just crazy. right? How dare you consider that there may have been employees at Turning Point USA who could be engaged in an obvious cover-up at this moment? Well, Pastor Frank Turek says that's so crazy because that would mean that Charlie Kirk hired people that ultimately betrayed him. And no one's ever been betrayed by people that they trust in the history of the world. Okay, well, actually, maybe that did happen for Jesus Christ.
Everybody gets betrayed. Caesar, just you probably got a friend right now that you know that stabbed you in the back. Like, dang, it happens. It happens for different reasons. It happens. Like, people get betrayed, so they wouldn't do that to him. Like, I hate when people just gaslight you.
That's just one historical example of a person surrounded by somebody that they trust who would ultimately betray them. And yes, JFK, who personally selected Lyndon Baines Johnson to be his vice president, Lyndon Baines Johnson, who was clearly implicated in JFK's assassination. Charlie rightfully says that is obvious by now. So yeah, it's all very plausible. Oh, and Charlie, you can see, does not readily dismiss the idea that the Mossad may have been involved. He says he'd like to hear more of an argument on that, as he asserts that definitively parts of our government had to have been involved. And he says the Cubans, the commies, wanted him dead. Charlie is encouraging the inquiry further. Who wanted JFK dead the most? Okay, well, we should continue down that path. Who wanted Charlie Kirk dead the most and why? And Charlie was very much in the political fast lane, okay? And in the political fast lane, they want you dead for really one or all of these three reasons: money, secrets, and or power. We know that Charlie said no to money right before he died. I think that means he probably knew a secret right before he died. And there is no doubt that his youth political organization had achieved a considerable amount of political power. Could there have been global implications? Of course. People are laughing. They've been laughing this entire time.
All them people, all of the gaslighters, all of the people, and the people in the poor American in the world, the poor Americans and the poor people of the world who just believe the report. They just believe, oh, it's not this, it's not that. And that I think their shock is going to be greater than everybody else. Most people like you and me that watch this type of content, we already know, like, yeah, they'll lie. They'll do this. They'll blow up a building 7. They'll do things like this. They'll blow their levees. They'll do different things. Whatever you believe. You know, there's some conspiracies that are accurate, right? We know this. But to the people of the world that don't believe any of that stuff, like your awakening is going to be very harsh. Like, I remember, back in the the late 1990s, I'm watching Zeitgeist. I'm already watching stuff like, they want less people here. I was already into conspiracies. I love that shit. But
because just following the evidence of what transpired on that day, a lot of odd things that transpired on that day, just like on the day of JFK's assassination, well, that pointed us into the direction of a particular satellite of countries and continents that have somehow come up in this investigation. I'll paint that for you now. Yes, we have mentioned France. Yes, we have mentioned Israel. Yes, we have mentioned the United States government. And yes, we have mentioned Egypt, which is in Africa. Wow, that seems crazy. People also laughed when I said that there was thereafter a viable threat, which came from the Macron couple who apparently paid for my assassination. And yet, strangely, neither the Pentagon nor the White House or our intel agencies or the Élysée Palace are disputing that narrative. And now we can add officially the FBI to that list of agencies that aren't denying that threat, because Kash Patel recently gave an interview to Megyn Kelly, and like an actual journalist and not a cutesy-wootsy influencer like Cam Higby, don't laugh, Megyn Kelly asked him directly about the Macron couple and about the allegation that they attempted to orchestrate an assassination on my life and, of course, whether or not they could have been involved in Charlie Kirk's assassination, which I have said, right? Here is what Kash Patel says in response.
Now remember, she put this out and said that, hey, this is important, this is real, this is serious. They are plotting to assassinate me. I have proof. This is what Candace said. She had proof and evidence that the government of France has paid someone to assassinate her. Now, first of all, for all the people that do not like Candace Owens, for all the people that are against Candace Owens, for all the people that think she's crazy and da-da-da-da, and they should get her. First of all, for her to put a claim out like this is your way to get her. If she was wrong, if she's just making this all up, this could be a hoax that you could get her on. You could be like, oh, we're arresting you because we spent federal dollars investigating this fake hoax plot to assassinate you, and it wasn't never real, right? They could do that. The people have been penalized. People have been charged for coming up with fake hoax of different crazy things. You can get her on this. But notice they haven't. Notice they aren't. Notice they aren't doing anything. They're not saying anything. Now, you're about to see when Megyn Kelly asks Kash Patel about this. Just look at the cagey way he answers these questions. Watch this.
Rather, what he doesn't say in response. Take a listen.
There's been an allegation made by prominent podcaster Candace Owens that she's received a death threat, a credible death threat from the French, that a threat has been made on her life, and that the French, she's been told, also may have had a role in Charlie's assassination. Have you looked into either of those? Do you believe she's received a credible death threat from the French, or that the French had something potentially to do with Charlie's death?
Any American that receives a death threat from overseas or anywhere in America is going to be fully investigated. So we're not going to turn our eye away from that investigation or any others. If there's anything to it, this FBI will respond to it.
Remember I told y'all before, like, how people lie? They always set up their little out. When people lie to you, they always say extra words. First of all, he said, any American. Why did you say any American? We're talking about Candace Owens. Be more specific. Let's talk about the subject. Okay, fine. And then he says, if there's anything to it. Those are ways out. Well, we didn't find anything to it. We didn't, you know what I'm saying? Instead of just being honest and upfront, it's cagey, it's deliberate, it's sneaky. It's sneaky responses.
Okay, but so far, no.
So we are just looking at everything that comes in. We're not going to reject any piece of information. If someone feels that their life is being threatened, we are, of course, looking at it.
Now, stop right there. Now, I like Kash Patel. I really do, I swear. And I'm like, man, blink twice if you need help. But here's the thing. If she's telling you she has proof that someone is setting up a plot to assassinate her, how are you looking at everything if you don't look at what she has? Like, she has the proof of what she's claiming, and you're not going to look at it, but yet you're looking at it. Does that make sense?
Do you want to involve me in you looking at it? Because actually it kind of left me on red. There has been no communication with the FBI. You are aware right there. Megyn Kelly is asking you directly about it, so you can't pretend you didn't receive it. And you are choosing to skip over. He completely skips over the part about me having asserted, which Megyn asks him directly, was France involved in Charlie Kirk's assassination? He doesn't even address that. Skips right over it and instead says, if any American has a threat, that's what we're here for. And she's like, okay, but was there actually a threat on if anybody, let's just kind of state it more broadly, we will take it seriously. Well, you're not doing that, Kash Patel. And I find it very odd that I said that I had proof that the government of France was involved in Charlie Kirk's assassination, that they were on the ground that day. And you have not reached out to me. In this very interview that you are asserting that you are certain that Tyler Robinson is the only person involved, how can you be certain if you are not reaching out to people that claim to have verifiable evidence which could dispute that narrative? Does it seem to you like he's telling the truth there? Does it seem to you like he's being open, he's being transparent, or does it seem like he's intentionally being cagey because he knows that I am telling the truth, despite the many millions of dollars that is being spent on this Operation Mockingbird 2.0 campaign? Kash Patel knows that I am telling the truth. That's why they are turning to influencers to try to tell you not to look that way. Candace is crazy. Oh my gosh, like Candace must have made this up. But the people that are in power are not telling you that I made this up, even when they are given.
Y'all, I'm telling you, our only hope is to fight that narrative. Don't fall for, oh, she's crazy. I'm telling you, it'll be you next. It'll be the next person next. It'll be every time someone tries to speak up, they're crazy. They're done. They're gone. Oh my God. Don't fall for that. Don't reject that immediately if someone says that to you.
The opportunity to do so. They are choosing to stay silent, okay? And I am waiting for all of this to be uncovered because this is bigger than we could have ever imagined. And it is very clear to me that our satellite of nations involved in this is not so implausible. In fact, maybe it's very plausible that all of these states are somehow involved in Charlie Kirk's assassination. The real reason that if we lose midterms, who we should be pinning the blame on, and he's come up with a way more compelling understanding, which is how we're all feeling. The person to blame if Trump loses midterms, if Republicans lose midterms, might be Republicans. It might be Trump. Here is what Milo had to say, and I will add that he is sitting also with George Santos, who joined them. Take a listen.
Jeffrey Epstein, as Bannon has said, and who would know better than him, it turns out.
Oh, you're going to quote Bannon, who consulted for Epstein?
I just said who would know better than him, as it turns out.
I just want to make that very clear for anybody listening.
I just said who would know better, as it turns out. He said that Epstein was the key that picks the lock, right? Of all of the kinds of things that people are asking, like, what is going on here? Why is this like this? And why is it? Epstein was one of the central ideological planks of MAGA teleology. Like, why does the world work like it does? Why do things look weird? Why do those people keep getting away with it and those people keep not getting away with it? Jeffrey Epstein was considered by everybody who voted for Donald Trump as a central pillar of understanding that we would unlock, and it would be like a code where bits of the universe would get like decoded for us. Like, oh my goodness, it's because of that judge. It's because of that. Everybody had.
He's right. And he's going to go further to say, I'm going to play all of his talking, which Miley Yiannopoulos, he sounds exactly like the average American person. Just listen to what he's saying and tell me this isn't how you think, despite them trying to make you think a different way. MK Ultra. They're trying to make you think another way, but the way he's thinking, this is how I think. This is how normal people think. Like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Expectation, and there isn't one person who voted for Donald Trump who did not want and did not expect the Epstein files to be released immediately, in full, unredacted.
I did not have that expectation. I did not.
Weirdo. See, and these are the people. This guy right here. I didn't have that expectation. I didn't have that. Shut up. Shut up. You weirdo liar. I just can't. I'm not. I just don't like these people. They just, okay, whatever. Let me just keep playing.
Okay, fine. Everybody except George, of course.
No, that's not true. There's so many people. I voted for Trump for many other reasons other than that.
Stop it, grow up.
You think that puts food on the table?
Grow up. It's about egg prices. Stop it.
Come on.
The part of the reason that Trump was elected in 2016 was that Hillary Clinton was emblematic of the way that the world was going wrong. The secret elite collusion, Epstein, it was all linked. And people who voted for him the first time and people who voted for him every time since, you can't find me someone apart from George, apparently, who did not want to see the Epstein files.
Let me ask you.
And I promise I'll wrap up and let someone else go. But when he said, "There's no Epstein files," and then the Democrats made it up, and then stop asking, and then if you're asking, you're not a fan of mine, and then if you're asking, I don't want you.
I agree with all of this.
That is the moment Trumpism died.
I agree.
It is.
Don't we need a reckoning?
And don't blame it on Candace Owens. It's not Candace Owens' fault. You weirdos. It's Trump's fault, unfortunately. When he made that was a blunder. That was a move that he moved away from his base. He even said it himself. That's why he said, if you're not with this, then I'm not with you. So it was a separation right there. He separated things.
That reckoning comes through the obviously, I promise I'm nearly done, the obviously inadequate account from the feds and Turning Point about what happened around, before, and after Charlie Kirk's death, where his ride or die homegirl is asking questions that have exposed some inconsistencies and some questions, and which seem to point to a different etiology for the crime than the one that we're being told. And when everybody from Turning Point looks so sinister, suspicious, and guilty all the time, and they're losing to her. Respect the public on that at least. They're losing to her. And
respect it. Like, she's doing such a fantastic job of revealing so much of the BS. They're losing. That's why they're scrambling and scraping for shit. Like they can't get the control that they're trying to get, and they hate this. That's how you know we're winning. We're making an effect. We're having an effect where we're on. To be fair, like, again, we love this country. We love our president. We love our senators. We love our government. We love our FBI. We love all of you guys. But, like, stop lying to us. Do you think you can stop lying for a minute? I mean, just be like, all right. You know what I mean?
They have every reason to be winning. So she has every reason. Isn't it smart for us to have that reckoning in the Republican Party right now?
Amen. All of that. Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
One of the most common 30-06s out there, this and the 150 grain. If you go to a gun shop and just ask for 30-06 ammo, this is probably what they'll give you. If I had to guess, I would honestly say he probably used something like this, just because it is the most common round out there.
This is this guy. He's making this video. He's a shooter, hunter, blah, blah, blah. He's going to show you the effect. I'm gonna skip to the end. He's going to show you the effect of what the bullet in the gun that they claim that this kid used on the roof would do to a neck. You've seen it, I'm sure. You've seen other stuff like this. I'm just going to skip to the main part.
In our first video, though, if you want to see it, I'll link it right here. I just wanted to show you how easy it was and how close that actually is. With this caliber, trust me, it's a chip shot. There's going to be almost no difference between 30 or 40 and 140. It's a 1,000-yard gun. So we might be gaining a few feet per second, but ultimately the result will be very similar. Well, we definitely penetrated our water jugs, and I don't think this is going to help to stop the conspiracy theories. His head fell off.
That's what would... Just stop right there. Lord. That's what would have actually happened if Tyler Robinson shot him with that gun. That's what would have actually happened. Can you at least acknowledge that, okay, they lied about this? And then when you lie about this, the question is, why did you lie about that? It never ends with just a lie. It's like, why did you lie? What are you hiding? Who took the shot? Where was it from? It's more questions.
I mean,
look at this. It would decapitate him.
watch that.
Can you imagine? Is that what happened to him? Did y'all see that? No.
All right, guys. I figured this is probably what would happen. I was trying to remain optimistic, but that right there is why people are skeptical on the official story. The 30-06 is a very hard round to stop.
Yeah, so I wanted to show that because I realized there's a bunch of people who may not be gun enthusiasts. Obviously, that channel is dedicated to it. And just so you understand and really appreciate what the federal government is trying to sell to you right now. That's what we mean when we say that particular bullet would have decapitated Charlie. Like you see,
exactly.
Like actually, it just, the idea that that just like ricocheted and went inward is just so beyond.
And just so you're clear, if you don't know, what they said was the bullet went in, hit his vertebrae, and went downward. This bullet would go in and explode his vertebrae and keep going back and hit more people behind him. But they was like, oh, he was a Superman, and he had, you know, he was so clean, and he ate so healthy that his bones were so dense and so... Stop. Just stop, man. Just stop with the lies.
That the night before he died. I know for a fact he messaged a donor and he messaged somebody at Turning Point USA. But I did not know, and this is what was told to me, that he also messaged Dan Flood, the security that's to his right, and allegedly explicitly said that they are going to kill me tomorrow. So again,
there we go. Allegedly, Charlie Kirk messaged his security and some other people and said they are going to kill me tomorrow. That's what he said. So if he said that they are going to kill me tomorrow, first of all, who is they? And then how does he know? Who's mad at you, Charlie? What's wrong? What happened?
That many people know that Charlie sensed that he was going to die tomorrow is an absolute fact. Why these individuals are all being quiet about that is a massive question mark, okay? And what we can say for certain is, of course, people will betray one another if money is on the line, right? And it could be for 30 pieces of silver, or it could be for billions. But things get complicated when there's a lot of money on the line. So we're going to pause there.
There you go. So Charlie Kirk knew that someone was going to kill him tomorrow. Like, who? Like, what world are we living in? Like, what world are we living in? He knew someone was going to kill him tomorrow. The questions are, how do you know? First of all, if I'm married and I'm laying in the bed and I think they're going to kill me tomorrow, I'm talking to my wife. I'm sure he has told Erica Kirk they are going to kill me tomorrow. I guarantee you he's told her that. He told her that. I'm guarantee you that Candace know that he said it to either her or to someone else. She has the proof. This is what she does. She throws these little things out there and she waits for everybody to be like, that's not true. That's not true. And then she puts out the receipts. And they know now, like, wait a minute, be careful. It's a landmine. You like walking through a landmine field. You don't know where to step, where to lie, because Candace has been picking them apart strategically. So they're very, very careful not to say that he did not know that they were going to kill him. And then the question comes again, who was going to kill him? Who is the they? Who is the they? We have to ask that question. Who is the they? So for all of you liars and gaslighters and everybody saying that, oh, Candace is crazy, it's going to come out. It's going to be more proof. That's why they would like for her to be dead. I don't know. Tell me what y'all think about it in the comments. Do you think that he knew that he was going to die? It's ironic. Very ironic. Gotta admit that. I don't know. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel. We need subscribers here. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed this content, if you appreciate this content, if you hated this content, if you love this content. Subscribe to the channel. I appreciate y'all time. I'm at work on my lunch break here. Get back to work. I love you guys. Peace. Be safe.